Greetings, Ani, Bojo, Kwekwe, Scano, Tanzi. It's Catherine here from Moonstarlodge in Central Ontario. Welcome if you're new to this channel, and welcome back if you've been with us before. We provide Indigenous teachings in art, spirituality, and education, and I've been collecting and honing the divination practices since 1974. I'm doing this video today for the week of January 23rd to 29th. Hard to believe, we're nearly at the end of January. But it's an interesting day. I'm filming this on the new moon of Wisdom Keeper, and I have discussed who she is in a recent past video, so I won't repeat that. We also are moving into Aquarius. We're moving out of Mercury retrograde, and I read something funny today that Mercury retrograde is now over, so everything that goes wrong is back to being our fault, which is funny. However, everything we choose is our responsibility. We're free will, and Mercury just asks us to slow down, take it a little easy. So we've got a lot happening. We're coming up on Imbolc, which is the point of midwinter, when typically, historically at least in the northern hemisphere, sheep are beginning to give birth. And it's a lot of change with that halfway point between winter and summer. Where we are, we've had a very mild winter, relatively speaking. A few, big storms, but nothing too bad. But I'm feeling very restless today, and I'm feeling almost in a way that I used to feel many years ago when I was very traumatized. And I realized that I needed to pull cards today to get this video out. Of course, that's a responsibility, but more for me. So I'm back with the medicine wheel cards this week. And I've pulled out a few decks as clarifiers that I've not used on screen before. But I am using the Star That Never Walks Around, the Untamed Elemental, Shamanic Medicine, Spirit of the Wheel Meditation deck, the Mystical Shaman Oracle, Sacred Cycles, and the Medicine Woman Oracle. There's a number of Indigenous themed oracles, whether they've been written by Indigenous people or not, that somehow push us that medicine people are always women and shaman are always men. Please know that that's not the case. All right, Brian, let's go to the cards. So here are the round ones are the tarot cards of the Star That Never Walks Around. And I have one each of the other decks. And it's interesting that we have some repeat cards, although they're very different decks, one from the other. It struck me as I pulled the cards how many of these are major arcana cards. We have the Empress, Death, the Hermit, and the High Priestess, and Justice. So there's only 2 out of the 7 cards that are from the minor arcana. So this is an important new moon. It's an important shift into Aquarius. It's an important time as we move toward the full moon, which is February 5th, just after Imbolc. So this is a perk up your ears and listen kind of a reading. We start, our significator card is the Empress. And the Empress is a delightful card. She has it all. She's in control. She's nurturing. She's mothering. She's aware and equally expressive and responsive to all things in her life in a nurturing way. She is the divine feminine in its purest form, goddess-like. Her card has thunderbirds, she has ravens, she has all the animals. And in the indigenous perspective, she is aware and caring for everything in the sacred web. So it's asking us to be very mindful of taking care of ourselves just as much as we take care of those around us and our responsibilities in the big world. It's clarified here, and I am going to use the clarifiers with each of these cards this week. I don't always. It is clarified by the conch. And the conch card, the conch is a shell that refers to the calling out, the using of the sound that reverberates within the shell to put somebody, something, some community on notice. Or it's a call to the ancestors from us, or it's a call to spirit. But if you snooze, you lose, is the message for us this week. We may be very involved in our taking care of things. However, Spirit is trying to get a hold of us, and Spirit very much wants us to be aware of something that's coming down the proverbial pipe. We move from the Empress to the Seven of Thunderbirds, which is the same as Wands. It's the Spirit and the Passion card. These two elders are in discussion. They're doing ceremony with each other, and they are discussing things that are coming. So I get the sense that there is an awareness that either we are neglecting our connection with Source, and we are working on remediating that, but we may need the help of others around us. What's interesting is this raven here. This card is the giveaway card. It sits in the medicine wheel over here in the position of the East. And basically, you break it, you bought it. Many times we've gotten rid of something, perhaps in anger, perhaps because we needed the money, so we've sold it. Something has predicated the giveaway of something. Perhaps it's external, it's a thing, it's a commodity, but it could be an aspect of us. So part of the reclamation process in this week is about recognizing what we need to love, that we're not giving love to, what we need to reclaim. So that's an important message as we move through the week. Why? Because we've got the Death card, and death is transformation. Death is the moving to a different vibrational level from where we are. So if we are feeling a little stuck, if we are feeling a little disconnected, if we are feeling there are things about ourselves, our joyousness perhaps, our love of some activity, something we need to reclaim, the transformation is coming. And the way to that reclamation or remediation is always emotions. Emotions are the most important ally we have. The word emotion is a contraction of the phrase energy in motion. And if you've ever listened to any of the Abraham Hicks work, any of the great teachers, the vibration that we create with our emotions, all our emotions, manifests. And this is part of this calling here. It's acknowledging that perhaps we haven't been listening to the call of Spirit, but also this is vibratory in nature, and the emotions are vibratory. It's easy to feel stuck in the winter. We just recently had something that psychologists call Blue Monday. We feel like everything is asleep and everything is dormant, and it would be easy to withdraw in the wrong way. But we need our emotions, and we need to do the kinds of things that put the eyeball, the big eyeball here, to enlighten and become aware of emotions that might be stuck, and emotions that need to be released because the powerful energy is there for us to manifest with. As we act to reclaim this, we balance the hermit energy. So the hermit energy is taking knowledge and going inward, using it, connecting with it, and that's fine. But here's the Empress card. This is the energy that we need. We need to balance being all giving, all loving, all giving away, perhaps at the expense of our own energy and knowledge. But it's very interesting. Now, I called this the Empress card at the beginning. It's the Emperor card. So that's my eyes and this blindness I'm dealing with. The Emperor is, again, not that much different than the Empress. It's the male expression of the Emperor, all giving, all noble, dealing with the law. The Hermit and the Empress connected here are bringing a balance to it. As we move along, we've got the Four of Butterflies, which is the same as Four of Swords, which is calling us to have deep rest. The deep rest is associated here with the Death card. It's actually peripherally, any of these clarifiers relate to the need for deep rest, because we have to put things in balance. Now, the clarifier for the deep rest card is Seashell. And Seashell is exactly the same as the Conch. It's just a different deck. But there's a little bit more in the author of this card's interpretation of Seashell. It is about flow, and it's also about vibration. It's about acknowledgement and the longevity of seashells. Long after the animal has left the seashell, does it sit upon the floor of the lake or on the beach until it returns. There is a beauty and a balance in seashells, and this balance of both receiving information from spirit and using our energy, our calling out, our vibration out, is here within emotion. We move on to the Justice card. So the Justice card is putting all these things in balance, bringing justice back for ourselves in terms of reclaiming that which has been lost, bringing back balance in emotions, balancing our external expression of the divine feminine here within the Empress, the goddess energy, and the hermit energy. It's clarified here by the rattle, and this is a turtle shell. And the rattle is a shamanic thing that we use. If you've ever been here watching us do ceremony, you recognize our turtle rattle. The rattle is, again, emotion, it's energy, it's like this conch, it's like the seashell. It's using sound to make a call to spirit, to put the ancestors, the totems, all the beings who have come into circle on notice that we are connecting with Source and we're doing ceremony. So this is a week to do ceremony. This is a week to acknowledge the incoming presence of Wisdom Keeper. And it is time to bring that balance, because we are moving through a transformation that requires action and passion. And that passion is this discussion here, the Seven of Thunderbirds. Finally, we have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess energy, of course, is the manifester, the alchemizer, the one who draws down from the moon the one who draws up from the earth, the one who makes things happen with intuition, and her spirit is the moon. So we have this new moon, and the ritual that's being asked for is cleansing and using the spirit path of the north. And how we cleanse is to release burdens, perhaps do a detoxification, and to increase our energy flow, which is also the emotions. You can flip the camera, Brian. I could have spent another 45 minutes discussing these cards and the ramifications of them, but I won't do that because you'd either click off or it would be far too long. I think you get the gist. I'm going to post a picture of this layout, this deck layout, and the decks used. It is a time in this darkness as we come to the midpoint of winter to still remember that cycles are happening. There is vibration coming from the earth. As the ground begins to thaw, as we move past Imbolc, I always feel an energy rising out of the earth, and it's quite inspiring. And if I'm feeling any of the doldrums, it lifts me out of it. I'm aware just of how alive everything has always been, and how alive I can feel again after the winter. So miigwech, and if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to get the notifications. The midweek, I call it the icing on the cake video, using most of these decks of cards, will appear on Instagram on Wednesday, late Tuesday for Wednesday and Thursday, and it will also appear on Facebook. It just doesn't appear on YouTube. So you can have a look, see what the top-up cards have to say, but it will be the same decks. Anyway, send me a coffee if you feel like it, and blessings. Aho.